Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we're working on a Toro 8-32. That means it's an 8 horsepower, 32-inch cut. The reason they brought in, the people that own this are from Omaha, Nebraska, but they have a cabin here at the river. This is what they use to mow around their cabin. Anyways, they mowed it a few times this summer. Then they came back and they added on the cement in their garage, and there's oil and gas all over the floor. Gas tank was empty, and the dipstick where you put the oil in, solid gas. So more than likely it's the carburetor. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, as you can see on the muffler how wet the muffler is, and the back part of the deck how what it is when you rub it with your finger. It's just pure gas running through the motor like that. So I'm gonna suck all the gas out of the engine, and you can see that's just pure gas. Maybe 90% gas, 10% oil. He said he didn't run it. I hope he didn't. Well, that's draining out. Let's go ahead and start taking that carburetor apart. Then we got to take the spark plug out. I'm sure the cylinder is full of gas too. But it came out with a 8 horsepower, but at one point in time they put a 12.5 horse Briggs on here. Like a 2000. On the code, the first two numbers are 00s. That'd be a 2000. That's one of the last years they made these flatheads. Somewhere in the early 2000s, and they went to the overhead valve. These two nuts here are 7/16. This is a 28 cubic inch. It's a 21B 707. That was a good motor back in the day. A lot of lawnmowers had them 12.5s. Then they started going to big decks, and they started putting them big twin cylinders on after that. And if you have a motor that this happens to, when we get the carburetor all done and everything, I like run it about a minute or two, then shut off and drain the oil again and put fresh oil in there again. You don't have to do that, but I like doing that just to make sure you get all that gas out from all the bearings and everything. This little bolt here, it's a 5/16 head. Then these two bolts here, 5/16. And on these inlets, they're plastic, so you gotta be careful with them. Absolutely no gas left in the tank. Okay, now I need a 5/16 wrench. Slide the choke linkage out. Spin this around. And there we go. Plenty of gas in there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pop the spark plug out. I think it burns a little bit of oil too. Replace that plug. Gas is just running out where the spark plug was. You get the air gun there and blow that out too, and blow all this dirt off and stuff here. Let's go take the carburetor over the table and tear it apart and see why it was leaking. Okay, it takes a 7/16. Take this bowl off. It don't look too terribly bad. A little bit of dirt and stuff in there. Yeah, that rubber tip on that needle is hard as a rock. I'm gonna boil it out real good. Just make sure it's all nice and clean, and we'll put a new needle in the seat in there. Then always shake your float because sometimes a little bit of gas will get in there. Let's go ahead and ultrasound clean it. These old Walboros are really, really good carburetors. I always liked them. Let's hit the carb in the bowl. Stick it in there about 45 minutes. Okay, just got it out of the cleaner. And your main jets right in here. If you don't have carburetor cleaner or something, just get a can and make sure that main jet is clear. You spray in there and you'll see a nice stream coming out in your venturi there. And where your needle goes, make sure that's nice and clean in there too. I got a new needle here. Then I'm just going to loosely bolt this onto the motor. I'm going to leave a gap between the intake and this and put gas and everything in it. And let it sit for a while. Make sure it's not leaking. So there we go. So next up, I'll go put it on the engine. Okay, I'm gonna go and put that carburetor back on, but I'm not gonna tighten it all the way. So if it's leaking, it's gonna drip between the carburetor and the intake elbow. Let it sit for a couple hours that way before we bolt it all the way up. Because sometimes on these LMT Walboro carburetors, a needle will fix it, and sometimes it don't. It just seems like when these get old, they just start leaking. There's no way to stop them. So put the governor rod on. And the spring goes in that little hole there. And our choke linkage slides right up in that little slider right there. And get our gasket. And you can see it's loose. That's all I want to do for now. Okay, I'm gonna grab some gas. Put some gas in there. And like I said, I'm gonna let it sit for a couple hours just to make sure it don't leak before we put it all the way together. And all I use around here is premium. Like I said, this is loose, so if it's gonna leak, it's gonna leak between the two. None of the gas is gonna go in the intake. So I'm gonna go and put the new spark plug in while I'm waiting. Then I'm gonna go put the oil in it now. Now, you don't have to do this, but anytime when the crankcase is full of gas, I'll put fresh oil in it, and I'll run it for like about a minute, and I'll shut it off and I'll drain it again because draining the gas or vacuuming the gas out like I did, you're probably not going to get 100% of it. And you don't want any gas on them bearings in there because you're just going to ruin it. So that's what I like doing. It costs a little bit more, but in the long run, it's worth it. To me, anyway. It's still not leaking, so that's a good sign. Go ahead and shake it a few times every now and then. Because when these are running, they're vibrating all the time. So let me go grab some oil. I'm going to fill it up full of oil. And I use SAE30. I'm going to put a quart in there and check it. Some of these take a quart and some of these take a quart and a quarter. You don't want to overfill them. Make sure the dipstick's nice and clean. And it's right on full. This one here takes a quart. So I'm going to let this sit for a couple hours just to be on the safe side. Then we'll come back and finish putting it back together again. Okay, it's been like about 3 hours. I got busy fixing something else. And no leaks. I grab a new air filter too. So let's go ahead and finish tightening this up. I'm going to adjust the throttle a little bit. This is a choke. Choke don't shut all the way. Be a lot easier starting when the choke shuts all the way. There we go. Okay. I'm going to go blow that out real quick. Get all that dirt off that air filter base. Okay, and this vent tube goes in this hole right here. And you make sure that red gasket is in there. There we go. I like getting that one started before I tighten them too. Get all that snugged up. Now imagine once we start this up, it's gonna smoke for a little bit and get all that oil and stuff out of that muffler. And there we go. We'll have gas in there and oil in there and boil it out the carburetor and put a new needle and everything in there. So I'll put my tools away. I'm gonna turn this thing around and we'll see if we can get this thing fired up. Okay, let's see what it does. Hope there's juice in the battery. If not, we'll have to pull start it. Put it on choke. It's gonna smoke for a while. Oh. It's slowly burning it out. But look at all that oil in the muffler. Look at all that oil that shot out. Should have started outside. But it's not burning oil no more. Yeah, I knew there was smoke. I should have thought that before I started inside. But anyways, I hope this video helps you out on leaky carburetors. They all don't work like this. Sometimes you have to replace them. But anyways, I hope this video helped you out. Appreciate you watching. If you like my videos, please press the like button and please subscribe. Anyways, you have a good afternoon.